prepared for highly offensive language from the start and throughout, and adult and sexual themes.
First eviction of the series, and tonight Big Brother Will did the axe for the first time, and Daniel got the chop. All right, Royal old carry on. Tonight we've got a show packed tighter than Stevie's Mankini, and believe me, that was tight. Your first evictee, Daniel, will be here. Royal butler Paul Burrell is going to be joining me. He's going to be telling all about his time in service at the CBB Manor. Plus, we're going to be keeping you bang up to date with all the fallout following Daniel's dramatic departure. And if that weren't enough, for the first time this series, Air Rylan will be taken to the skies. Oh, yeah. And more on that a bit later. But listen, it is Friday night, so let's find out who's got VIP access to the hottest venue in town. Bringing glamour to the panel tonight is a businesswoman, model and actress. With that full package, she's definitely bound to make a good old splash. Give it up for the beautiful Caprice! Caprice! He's a man in the know, and he's more than willing to share what he really thinks. His presenter and journo, Paul Ross. Welcome back, Paul. My next guest, he's a very big fan of bots. And we're a very big fan of his. It is the big man himself. It's the beast, Mark Levette. Right, listen, before we crack on, you're now known as Beast on this show, OK, if that's all right with you. I think we should do a quick general knowledge thing, just very quickly, because I don't think you know as much as I do about the Spice Girls.
What is this, a busman's holiday?
It is. So are you ready?
Go
First
on.
question. Are the Spice Girls still the biggest band of all time? Girl band.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, well done. Who was not an original Spice Girl?
Emma or Baby. When
Yes.
they were still called Touch.
Who had a #1 with Look at Me?
Jerry.
Oh, we got them all right!
I'm good at multiple choice.
Right, let's get stuck in then, because I've been right mugged off. Daniel has left the house. Well done, Bark. I really like that. Caprice, do you think the right person went tonight?
No.
No?
I was shocked. I thought that Chris would go, and not because... I just think, you know, it's about drama, it's about controversy, and he's such a nice guy, and nice guys...
Yeah, he's
sadly...
Not, I mean, Chris is lovely, like you said, but he has been quite quiet, hasn't he?
Really quiet, so I was a little bit shocked.
Paul, what are you making of Daniel going?
I was stunned because he's a fantastic presence in the house. Yes, he's loud, as Gail said, but that's what all, with respect, Yanks are, big mouths, and we want a big mouth Yank in the house.
Wait a minute, that's a generalisation!
Oh, I've got a couple in the audience!
And they're making noise, aren't they? They're making noise.
Yeah, as he's shouting, I love it. Beast, why do you think he got the chop tonight?
Well, obviously it's Britain versus America, but I didn't think it'd be showing quite so early. I mean, look, 3 of his 4 nominees were Brits. And I think it's one of the problems the Americans are going to have. There's going to be a bit of ganging up, I fear.
You reckon? But you're saying
definitely.
that, like, you are right in a sense, because no Brits nominated any Brits, but a lot of the Americans turned on each other.
Yeah.
Are you surprised at that?
Not really, 'cause I think the Americans are a little bit more individual, but the more worrying thing from the public vote, it's mainly the British vote. And with obviously the flag waving, the Brits have got a big advantage.
Yeah,
when
but Gary
the crunch
Busey
comes.
won last year. He was an American.
Yeah.
He was an American.
But he wasn't representing America, he was just being Gary.
He was just representing himself. We're just going to put that out there. What are we making of Daniel going? Oh, go on, Barb's put her hand up. Let's go on.
I don't think he should have gone. I think
No.
Chris should have gone, but then he hasn't had time to shine because it's... You wouldn't think the British were in there, really, would you? It's
has
all
been- it's been
Americans,
American-dominated.
and I've never known a group of people to fight and argue amongst themselves when they're meant to be on the same side.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Is anyone happy Daniel's gone? No. Oh, one person. Let's go to you. Go on, darling.
I just think he was boring.
You think he was boring?
No, he was coming out of his shell. Sort of, the first couple of days he was really quiet, but then I think he really came out of his shell when he was getting really involved in the tasks and things like that.
See a little Barney going on here tonight. Caprice, do you think there's anything Daniel could have done to save him going tonight? Because in my eyes,
like
I can say no.
Like he said tonight with Emma, drama, controversy, fight with Janice, do something, take off his clothes,
He should have
whatever.
worn a mankini.
You think he should have worn a mankini?
And let a couple of little things slip out.
Just a couple of
please.
little things. How do you think the house is going to be dealing now, Paul? He's not in there. Because personally, I can say it now he's out. I thought he was a good housemate, and I think he was quite in the centre of a lot of stuff, but he sort of, I feel, initiated stuff and sort of...
I think he was a bit of a... He was waiting to become the alpha male, and he didn't get the time in there to do that. And I think Scoop might take over now, but they're going to miss him. And I think they might feel, as Mark was saying, the Beast was saying, that actually they might start to feel they're going to be picked on, so they might circle the covered wagons, maybe the Yanks, and stop fighting as much between themselves.
True,
I hope.
they could do. Beast, who do you think is going to miss him the most?
I think pretty much any of the Americans who want to stay in there.
Yeah. Do you think this has been a bit of a wake-up call to the Americans, thinking, oh, maybe we don't run the show?
Well, I think the problem at the moment, the girls in the American side are playing it very individualistically, and they're going, look at me, camera, look at me, and it's working, but we'll keep them in there until they cease to be entertaining, and then out they go.
Is anyone surprised the reaction that Farrah got tonight, that she's not out?
I was waiting. I had my hopes on sharing a little slice of my mind with Farrah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was kind of secretly sitting on my hopes that she would be in the studio right now.
But we're actually from where she's living currently, so
Yeah, you're from Austin, aren't you?
Austin,
Yeah, I remember her saying.
But I think those three, they're just gonna keep fighting it out until they all end up taking each other out. So.
And the little birdie's just told me it's your birthday today. Is that right?
Is my
Happy birthday! See? British-American relations right there. Well, listen, Daniel wasn't the only person to leave the house tonight. Our resident butler, Paul, has well and truly checked out. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on. But from one Paul to another, how do you think he did in there?
I thought he was fantastic. I loved his little stories. He was a nice kind of soothing presence. And that story about the Queen having a fiver on her, it being ironed, folded up, her face is up in the collection. Yeah, in the collection box.
I love that.
Fantastic. That is lovely.
I want my fivers to do that.
In fact, he should be out here now serving us drinks, shouldn't he? Where is he?
Where is he?
Beast, how do you think Paul did?
I think he did brilliantly. You know what? He's not used to this kind of thing, and to go into that kind of situation, I mean, I've been doing this for 500 years, and I'd be scared shitless going into that house.
I love,
It is a scary house.
I love the way.
Scary.
I love the way when you said beast.
Caprice, I went, Beast, what do you think of that? Caprice was like, well.
There's no female Beast. You're welcome to take on the
Oh my God,
role.
I can't believe he called you that, and you just sat there.
It's my nickname. It's my nickname.
He called you a beast.
It's my professional name.
You know what we need? We need new
Caprice,
names.
that's how he makes them.
How about this though?
That is not a love name. That is rude.
How about this then? Beast, feast, and least.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that one. How do you think he done on the task? Because we've said it all week, you know, he's a Brit, but he was Team USA, but obviously it was quite slanderous because he was going against the Brits. How do you think he did?
He did really well, and I think he needed a bit more authority, some form of sanction, because you saw Janice just ignored everything he was saying, basically.
She actually did ignore everything.
Yeah. But I saw Paul backstage, and he did marvellously well, but right now he's absolutely shaking with the adrenaline.
Sweet. He was so nervous.
So, Paul, a double G&T and one for yourself, please.
Caprice, so who do you think is going to miss Paul the most? Because he did seem to get along with everyone in there.
He did, but I think Daniel in particular, because he really stuck up for him, talking to Big Brother.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, really stepped up.
It was quite anti that they've both come out then, really, because then they've got each other now, and that.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah, they are.
But also, you know, with Scoop, they had kind of that bonding hair, moment there. So maybe between the two of them.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Scoop tonight, did we?
I know,
want
we
to
haven't.
want to see a little bit more of Scoop. But listen, on that note, give him a give him a clap, sorry. Now listen, this next woman is the Big Brother crown jewels, and I will gladly seal her away any day of the week, deserving a very royal welcome. It's the one, the only, the one. That's cue the music alert. It's Emma Willis! How you feeling? We do.
America!
How you feeling? First eviction, well done.
Oh, I'm gutted.
Gutted, he's gone.
I know I keep saying it. Yeah, I am gutted he's gone.
Are you surprised?
Well, it was, I never know. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it was probably close between all of them, I would imagine. You know, Chris is quite quiet. Daniel we haven't seen very much of. But then the other, you know, you've got like Jenna and Farrah. Who else was up? So many of them.
Six of them, Stevie and Chloe, Janice.
Stevie and Chloe, you kind of think they've got that X Factor vote. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're probably going to stay in and be fine. And Janice, you know, they're all quite bonkers. So you kind of go, and there've been such like arguments and
Big
stress
things and everything.
that you kind of go, are people going to pick up the phone and save them? But they have. So yeah, I'm gutted that Daniel went because I think take out the drama aspect of the chicks, and Daniel would be probably a really fun housemate. Like you just said about Scoop, we're not seeing very much of him. And I think he is a fun housemate. We've seen that. And I think because there is so much dramatics with the chicks, we are losing the fun people.
Elements of other
Not that the
housemates.
chicks aren't fun, but we just see all the drama and not so much of their fun. So it's...
How was he?
Shall I shut up?
No, you don't need to show. You say what you want, darling. I'm having a lovely time. I think I nodded off halfway through, I'm not going to lie, but I'm joking. I love her.
Cheeky little shit.
What a bastard. How was he? Is he all right?
Big shit.
Little shit cardboard
How was
box.
he? Do you know what? I think he was quite surprised because did
He
you
looked
hear
surprised.
Chloe Jasmine as she was leaving? She was like, "Oh yeah, bye. You'll be going into a safe house. Yeah, bye. Like so. I think he thought, I'm going into a safe house.
This is a fake eviction.
Yeah, and when we were chatting in the break, he said, "So I've been told there's like a safe house." And I went, "Well, we do that sometimes,
He can
but
come home to mine. That's pretty safe. Like most of the time.
but we're not doing that tonight." He went, "Oh, so this is it?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh! I felt so bad. And he went, "Well, what do you do if someone's going into a safe house?" I said, "Oh, we just have a chat with them down there and send them in the back door." I'm like, "But you're here with me, I'm sorry."
We're really sorry.
So, yeah, it was a shame.
I know you said that other characters obviously have been quite at the forefront, but where do you think it went wrong for him? Because a lot of people online are sitting there talking about Chris, for instance. We've not really seen that much from him. We have seen more from Daniel. So why do you think Chris got more votes to save?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, wouldn't it, how close it was between everyone and see how people are voting, but it's kind of impossible. But I don't know, maybe because he's a Brit, you know, and like someone was saying earlier on, like it's Brits that are voting, so maybe more people were inclined to pick up the phone for Chris.
Do you think the House are going to miss Daniel?
He obviously had a presence in there because so many people are like, you can always hear when he's around because it's so loud. But also, I kind of feel like watching him, he kind of got on with everyone. Like he would pull Janice up if she was pissing him off, and you know he would kind of, if Farrah was having a moment, like he said in the interview, it's kind of like you humour her, but you just go, oh my God, is this happening already? So he kind of, you know, he dealt with it like a dad probably would with his teenage kids. And I think you do need to have that in a house that's so bonkers.
Well, talking of bonkers, let's talk about the Royals task.
Yeah.
I mean, that's thrown up some shade over the past couple of days, let's be fair. What did you make of the whole shenanigans that have gone on?
Well, it kind of twisted my brain this evening when I watched the whole
argument.
Go and make them
Tea party.
Annoyed. I was like, there's annoyed and it's taking it to the next fucking level.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You know, and it's a catch-22, isn't it? Because that was part of the task. That was what she was told to do. But then there's a line, isn't there, that you know, I mean, that just flew out of her so easily.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, what?
Wow. Yeah.
So it was, but the Brits, it was like, they just sat there. They just were like, what the
I know,
fuck
they did
is
do
going
well.
on?
In all fairness, the Brits were like, we're not going to rise to this.
Yeah.
And I think at one point, Natasha was like, I know what
she
you're
was
doing.
like, I know what you're doing, I know what you're doing. And you could see she was staying so composed.
She was just boiling.
But you knew she just
This is
wanted
coming.
to flip. So yeah, I mean, talk about a shopping task. That was a task and a half.
Yeah, they're going to eat. They're going to eat well now.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Do you know what I think I've got time
Or
for?
maybe not, because apparently Daniel's the only one that's been cooking in there for them.
Oh,
That's
God.
another thing he said to me. He said, I don't know what they're going to eat now because I've cooked every meal.
Oh well, that's one to watch then, isn't it? But they're going to miss him. Do you know what I've got a quick time for?
Quick rummage.
Yeah, quick rummage in. Where is it? Me ball sack! Me ball sack's back! Oh, I love it. Right, you take me sack. I want you to have a little rummage in there. Let me get me card. Where's
These
it gone?
are big balls.
Hang on, hold up. Don't.
I can't see.
Right, go on, have a little rummage. Because viewers, you've been sending in your questions for Emma, so we're going to ask
5.
them. Number 5, OK. At Charlotte Says Hi. Hi, Charlotte. She says, would you ever let Rylan present an eviction with you one night?
Fuck no.
There you go.
To be fair,
Shady lady.
one day he'll nick my job and I'll have no choice.
Oh, don't say it like that. But we're getting another ball out.
Another ball,
Come on.
another ball. 4.
Number 4. At Cormac Wilson, UK, says, who has surprised you the most and why?
Who has surprised... Why? Who has surprised me the most? Maybe Austin.
Austin?
I didn't
Why
really know
Austin?
anything about him, and I know he can be quite a bitch at times. But I kind of like him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something very likeable about him, and I've never seen. The thing is, like, I'm talking about these people like I know what they're like. I've never seen his show, so I don't know what he's like on his show. I can get a fair idea of what Farrah's like on her show because I think she's probably the same on our show. But he seems to be quite direct. And I thought he might be a bit more bitchy behind the backs, but
So
he
you've been a
just
bit
kind
surprised, though,
of
he's
comes
coming out with
straight
it.
out with it, yeah.
Well, listen, on that note, I love her, but she's got to go up there. Give it up for Emma Willis!
Here's
the ball sack. Here's the ball sack, babe. Take me ball sack home and have a lovely weekend. All right, darling? She's lovely. She's going to be putting her head in me ball sack. Still to come, I'm going to be talking to your first evictee, Daniel. He's going to be here to dish all the dirt on his fellow ex-housemates, and he'll be checking all his baggage into the hold because Air Rylan is almost ready for takeoff. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. What a beauty. I'll see you straight after this break. Look at that. Look. Bit on the side. Coming up, we've got all the latest from the house, plus Big Brother's royal servant, Paul Burrell's going to be here. But first, it is the biggie. You'll probably hear him before you see him, according to some of the housemates. And it's a man who likes to come first, and then he has been true to his word, although probably not the way he wanted to. Please give it up for our first evictee. It's Daniel Baldwin! Oh, Dan, you got some fans in tonight, let me tell you.
I love it.
They love you. Dan, I've got to be honest, I'm absolutely gutted that you're out of the house tonight.
I told you I was going to come in first.
I know, but not this type of first. I'm absolutely gutted. I thought you were a really, really great housemate. I thought you played the game well. You've been out now for about over an hour now. How are you feeling?
You know, I feel I'm okay with it, and I told everybody before, it's something that's not within your power or anything to make that decision. So, you know, you try to play the game with honor and dignity, and obviously there's a few people in there that didn't like, you know, who or what I am or whatever this, and that's fine. That's how you get nominated. The temptation is when you watch the other characters, do I do something more outlandish? Do I do, you know, do I go ahead and get into a fray or do I, and I thought, well, you know, I don't want to just force something or do something that's not, I was quite surprised I got nominated, actually.
I was. I think a lot of people,
amongst my mates where, you know, I played the game really hard and had a big part to do with us winning our task.
Yeah.
I cooked, I cleaned, so I thought, well, probably I don't think I'm going to get nominated, you know, so But I did, so obviously, you can't make everybody happy.
Now you are out. Are you happy? I know you wanted to win, and I know you wanted to go far in it, but are you happy now that you're out and you can get back to life and, speak to your family and friends?
I don't like to do anything that I don't think, if this was an athletic test or it was some kind of thing where it really had to do with some kind of ability and I lost, I'd be very disappointed if I didn't excel at it. In this particular case, as I learned more from the Brits that were in there about this show, because I didn't know much about the show.
No, I know.
And so when I learned more about it and I realized what it would take to win it, I knew I didn't have a chance to win it. No, I don't mean that to be, but I just mean either you're going to be really outlandish and confrontational, and you're going to be voted to say, which I wasn't going to be that person.
Yeah.
Or you probably have to fly below the radar for quite some time.
Yeah.
Which would have bored me to tears, to not have an opinion about things, whatever. So I think at the middle of a road kind of person are going to be the people that are going to kick out for a while.
And I think that's why a lot of people are shocked, because you really wasn't under the radar. Like, you were in every night, there was something about you, and you did something. And to prove how much you did do in that house, what I'm going to show you now?
Ooh.
It's time for your box bits. Take a look at this.
Tell me. It's kind of like a volcano. You see the smoke coming out, so you know it's active. Then you start feeling a little bit of the rumbling. And then sure enough, day 8, mark my words, day 8 comes the eruption. It's interesting for me, I'm, just watching the dance. You start to see, the real people come out. You and I need to talk, man. It's a dangerous allegiance. Mm-hmm. Other people here that may see you as a threat. He's got to go. Now, you can't touch anyone, but can you aid in objects falling from the rooftop on them? She's about to be eliminated. I'm not going to save your soul. Boom! With your head. On the nose. Yeah.
He's a very, very dominant character.
They're all fucking cunts. Baldwin's a cunt.
Don't do that, don't do that. You don't think I have feelings? Now, another person might leave you in a lurch and set you up right now. You know I'm not that cat. A leopard usually doesn't change its spots.
No, never.
It took so much of me to be this dark.
I got brains. I got talents.
I'm not afraid to be who I am. Think about that. And when we get a chance, we'll cut her fucking throat.
You're literally the box father. I love that. I absolutely love it. Now, listen, we were to, obviously, the series is UK versus USA. Being in there, being in that house, in that environment, can you feel that cultural divide between the Brits and Team America?
Well, certainly when we did the Royals and the Servants, I think that as the Servants, I took it very seriously to stay in character. I looked at it as a play. I was very disappointed in some of my housemates from the USA because I think they phoned it in some. They weren't as attentive, and that I thought was I was sad. I didn't want that to be a reflection of what America thinks of the monarchy and what they think of Great Britain, because we really do. Having Paul there, a person that had that kind of close affiliation with Diana, I felt so honored to be in his presence, So, but yeah, there's definite differences. Look, the Brits have had no fights among themselves. They haven't even really fought with the Americans. It's the Americans fighting with the Americans.
It's the Americans turning on each other. Listen, I want to go back to launch night, because one Brit that did have a bit of a barney with an American was Natasha and Farah. So you've just walked in the doors, and literally 45 minutes later, boom, game on. What was going through your mind? Was you just thinking, what the fuck?
What was going on in my mind was I saw them nominate 2 people to go to the Tower. And I turned around and I saw them struggling so badly. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to be an honorable guy. I put my hand up. I said, I'll be the 3rd guy. Wow, what a big mistake that was.
It come across to me that you felt sometimes a little bit paternal to Farah. That you felt that maybe sometimes you thought, I'm going to step in here and just be like, Farah, you need to calm down. Like, did you look at her like, say, a child in a way where
I have children older than Farah.
Yeah.
So I watched her, and I was hoping that maybe I could help her deal with. I really felt Natasha did come to extend the olive branch in that first episode, and I felt like she really shut her down.
Yeah.
So, but I think those are issues that Farah has to deal with Farah.
Let's talk about Janice.
Yes.
Hang
on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got to shake your hand for living with her, for a start, because she is just amazing. She's amazing to watch, but I can imagine what nightmares she used to live with. Over the last 24 hours, we as viewers have seen a bit of a different side to her because we've seen a bit more of an emotional side to Janice. I think that's fair to say. Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is what I want to ask you. Do you think...
I don't buy any of it.
You don't buy it?
No.
Why not?
No. Listen, Janice makes a living at doing these kind of shows. The days of her standing in front of a camera and putting clothes on are long gone. So, Janice has a game plan. Like I said, I predicted a number of things. When Paul walked up the stairs, I went, watch, she's going up the stairs too. I mean, and sure enough, all the way to the top. And
Big Brother's coming on,
please
get out.
Come down, please go. So, it's a very self-serving situation. But you know what? I really believe that not only do people vote for her, they vote for her to torture us.
Yeah, I think I can see that. I do think I can see that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about Jenna. You seem to have quite a good relationship with Jenna. I've got to ask, were you familiar with her work before?
Oh, for sure.
We all were, Dad.
She's a living legend.
She's a legend. How was your relationship with her? Because you seem to get on quite well.
Great. She and I, look, the thing that may not come out so much is Jenna is known also. She decided to go in her business on her own and started her own production company and then sold it to Playboy for an astronomical amount of money.
A fortune.
A sharp businesswoman, no messing around with Jenna. And I was kind of counting on her to be the one that was going to... I was promoting it. I was telling people, I'm Bob Arum, the fight promoter from
I know,
the States,
we saw.
and I'm getting ready for the big one. I'm sad that I'm not there right now because it's going to blow up.
Is she a ticking time bomb?
Oh, her...
Oh, that's all we know.
Listen. So, I'm so sad I'm going to miss because James and Austin, when Farrah packed her stuff up, moved their stuff into her locker. Not even knowing that she was going to be off the show, so... Oh, my God, I can't wait to see tomorrow's episode.
Oh, it's all going to go on. Very quickly, Dan, let me ask you, who do you want to win?
Well, I have two favorites, in my opinion. I think Scoop.
A lot of love for Scoop.
I think, he really is that really sweet, nice guy.
And he's
but he's also funny, and he does his stuff, and it keeps you, interested in what he does. He's not just going to sit there like a bump in a log. And then, of course, when you look at the demographic that votes for the show, James is,
James is coming across well as well.
What we will find out, though, is when they kick Austin out, what will James do? And I don't know. I don't know if he's put too many of his apples in one basket or not.
That is true. But listen, Daniel, I think you've been a great housemate. And on this show, we don't let anyone go away empty-handed. So, guys, you at home, they're making a comeback for the new series because it's Ryland's Farewell Fangs! It's a little toothy ta-ra from me to you, but come with me over here. Because as much as we like giving out the gift, there's something else that we need to do.
Okay, tell me.
And it's not the best. It's not the best of things, Daniel.
Okay, tell me.
Guys, you know what it's time for. It's the time they all dread. It's time for Daniel to turn red. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I'm so sorry. But give him a round of applause. Come on. Listen, we're going to be hearing more from him later as he's going to be joining my panel. Coming up, we're going to be taking an exclusive look at who will fall out after his departure from BB's Royal Residence. Plus, what the butler saw. Paul Burrell is going to be serving up all the gossip from his time in the house. Me and Dan will see you after this break. Still to come, Air Island's going to be taken to the skies on its maiden flight, but first it's time to check in with the house and see how they're getting on post-Baldwin. This is the aftermath, and Scoop has got some words of encouragement, Paul.
Don't say what you feel the UK public want to hear, man. The bottom line is they love you. They love you regardless, so y'all don't have to give generic answers.
No, but that is us. We are generic. We're simple people. I wish we were complicated sometimes.
What
we
are
are
saying?
simple.
Bro, I watch you sit over there for 2.5 hours and damn near cry. When I told you this morning.
You did say you ain't going nowhere. You did say that to me when he was going up the steps.
Because you're kind and nice.
Bro, y'all will be one of the last ones to leave here.
Oh, I don't know about that, Scoop. Now you're pushing it, mate.
Bro,
you're pushing it.
Listen, you guys were on television on a major show. You have twice the amount of fans.
But We're just going to try and be ourselves. Scoopy.
All I'm asking you to do.
So all we're going to be is
From what I
ourselves
see
from now on and love each other with all our hearts.
We're sensitive.
That's actually quite nice, though, in all fairness. Although, Scoop, I don't think anyone that comes from X Factor and goes on Celebrity Big Brother ever does well. They don't. Anyway, listen, he whipped the US housemates into shape, but he still needs to give a good old polish to some of our housemates here to give the CBB staff the royal once-over. It's a man that never stops. Give it up for Paul Burrell! Oh, Paul, come and take a seat for me, mate. Oh, Paul, how are you feeling?
I'm exhausted.
Looking dapper, by the way. Dapper! How'd you find it in there?
Do you know, I never worked that hard at Buckingham Palace.
Well, this is what I want to say. What are the differences between working in that palace to the Buckingham Palace?
Well, it's the staff. You can't get good staff.
You just can't get the staff.
You know what the difference is? Those larger-than-life American women, they are a difficult breed to control.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, Janice, she just wouldn't do as she was told. And what do you do in a situation like that?
What can you do?
Fire her.
And Paul, though, what is it? You've just said you were in charge of Team USA.
I was, but did I want to become confrontational with a supermodel? I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't want to lose my dignity. I didn't want to lose that Britishness that we all have. And that's the problem with the House, you see. The Brits are holding back because they don't want to.
That's the typical British thing to do.
They don't want to be confrontational. Whereas the Americans, they don't care. They're going to go for it. They say what they think, and they mean it. And sometimes do not know exactly how far to go.
And how did you find being a Brit, but being on Team USA? Because obviously the whole task was a slander task, and it was turned on its head. So technically, you're going against your own poll.
I was, but I didn't mind that because I'm very fond of America.
Yeah?
Couple in tonight. Yeah. America is our greatest ally, and they are very fond of our royal family. It's something they don't have.
Daniel just said, yeah.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed being with them, and I enjoyed teaching them my set of skills and telling them about this incredible world which I lived in. How could they possibly know that unless it came firsthand from someone who was there?
Yeah, right.
So I gave them that firsthand experience.
Well, let's talk about some of your staff.
Yeah.
If you had to, out of all of them, who would you hire?
Well, I'm not saying that because he's sat there. I'm not, really. I'm not. But Daniel was the hardest working member of my staff.
Oh. Dan! Why was that?
I'm not saying it because he's over there. I promise you I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. He never stopped. I don't know whether you saw that.
Well, we did, and we just had a chat with Daniel, and he just said, you know, he threw himself into that task. He treated it like an acting job.
He did. He kept saying, yes, sir, yes, sir. I can't have a Baldwin call me sir. He, sir? I thought, well, there's a Baldwin there. He could be President of the United States. Reagan was. Yeah. There's a Baldwin. Baldwin could be in the White House.
Daniel, you going to run? You going to run for president?
407 years ago.
But could happen.
He cooked, he cleaned, he lost the skin off his thumb, he cleaned the oven when he didn't have to. He really applied himself to that task. It's not fair. He's out.
No, he was a great housemate. And there's a lot of people that are gutted that he's out tonight. But let's talk about the staff that maybe wouldn't have made the royal cut. How many P45s do you think you'd be handing out?
None.
None?
I don't think so. Daniel, yes, but...
So you would have just sacked the rest of them?
Yeah. They're so individual. They're so involved in themselves, in their world. It's hard to make them work as a team. I found that. The Brits are easy.
I think we saw it was quite a hard job for you to be there for. I really did.
It was impossible. Did you see when I entered the house? Farah didn't want to know at all.
Yeah, we saw.
So cool. Ice Maiden. Didn't want to know.
Well, I think this makes my next question a bit clearer, but obviously you didn't have the power to nominate. No. Who would you have nominated during your time in the House?
Who would I have nominated?
Yeah, go for two housemates. Who would you have put up for eviction?
Well, it had to be Farah because she was so nasty. And in Britain, we're not used to nastiness. We sort of veil it in a different way. It's hurtful when you hear some
Farah
things.
would be one of your nominations. Who would your other one go to?
Not Janice, because she's good TV.
Now, that's coming from someone that's lived with her, guys. So I think we need to appreciate that.
She's Ozzy Osbourne crossed with Cruella de Vil.
Well, listen, Paul, I'm gutted, but I'm running out of time. But very quickly, I've got to ask you, out of the housemates that are left in there, who would you like to see take the crown?
I like James.
You like James?
Because he's from my hometown.
Oh, yeah, well, there's a little bit of loyalty there.
But he needs that little push, lift.
Do you think he can do it?
I think he can do it if he frees himself from Austin.
Oh.
I think he needs to become himself. At the moment, he's a double act. I want to see who James is.
Well, listen, Paul, on that note, I've got to say a massive thank you from everyone at Big Brother for being our Big Brother Butler, guys. Give it up for Paul Burrell. Coming up, Daniel's going to be giving my plane a big old thrust as the flaps go up and down in our brand spanking new I Am Toxic Talk. All's going to be revealed. Plus, we've got tonight's final slice of house action, and our panel are going to be voicing their opinions on the rest of tonight's reality. We'll see you straight after the break. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Now listen, earlier in the week I bought you a little bank holiday gift in the shape of Steve in his pants, if you remember. Now, you would have seen this last night as an exclusive on Bots. You would have also seen it in the main show tonight, but because it's the weekend, I thought I'd treat you lucky lot again. You're welcome. Caprice's face! Brilliant! Caprice will never, ever come back again. Listen, we're going to be finding out what Caprice and the rest of our panel are making of the rest of tonight's action very shortly. But before we do, it's time to see how the house are coping without Daniel being in there. And Farah and Jenna are up to their old tricks again, Dan.
I just wish that we as Americans didn't.
Yeah, I wish we as
enter a fight
Americans
like this.
didn't
I
have
really wish.
backstabbing, fake-ass bullshit on our team.
Me?
You.
Okay.
I'm British. No, I'm American.
I've never said I'm
I'm
British.
gonna apologize to you
I've
for
never-
the first night, and I'm gonna try to move forward, and then all I see is some fake-ass shit.
I've never once said that I'm British.
You know that a lot of your teammates were put up for nomination tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're going to be stressed. You know, we had a lot to deal with today.
True.
Okay? We come out onto the couch, and you're sitting with Gail and Natasha, who are literally giving the death eyes.
And you're
to
making
me
comments
and her.
towards
and
myself.
you're like this.
To Gail.
Listen, there are times. And
You don't like me, and I don't really like you, right?
Sweetie, I don't even care to
It's
not
not
like
even
you.
about
I
that.
see
So then why are you worried?
fake-ass behavior, and I call you out, and then you just... Oh! Dude, I don't have time.
Call me out. You
I don't
haven't
even
called
waste
any,
my
you haven't
time.
called anything out.
Oh,
Tell
that's
me.
right. Liar.
Tell me.
Fake-ass son of a
Tell
bitch.
me.
You know what? I have no energy for a stupid little fuck.
Wow, it's already kicking off. Listen, it's time now to see what tonight's fabulous panel make of the latest house shenanigans. Now, but listen, before we get stuck in, I've got to do this. I just want to relive my favourite part of tonight's show. Let's take a look.
We'll just keep looking at the back of your bottom, like we were last night, Mr. Armour Smug.
Armour Smug.
Armour Smug. Oh,
Queen.
Her Majesty.
Her Majesty.
What the bloody hell's going on here? What's the Daisy?
Mind your knickers, Your Majesty.
No, don't. We should. No, look. In all seriousness, we shouldn't laugh. We really should. Actually, we should. Let's see it again in slow motion. Let's see it again. Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait. Go on, Del. Go on, Del. That's it. That's it. Sorry, I love her. But we've all fell in a bush. Listen, we're all in a good mood now, so let's crack on with the rest of tonight's action. We've had laughter, we've had tears, Janice got upset. So, Daniel, let me come to you. You obviously said earlier you think Janice, you know, she's playing a bit of a game, but if she was getting genuinely emotional in that house, do you think, in your eyes, she's sort of bringing it on herself with what she's doing in there?
Well, I mean, listen, anyone that has had a problem with Janice has a problem with Janice because of Janice's actions. So when she comes to people and goes, no one likes me in the house and everyone hates me, and we're like, no one knows you. So it's only because of things that you've done. So if you want to change that perception, then change your actions.
Wait, but don't you think that it's quite calculating what she's doing? She is queen of reality at the end of the day.
Yes.
Don't you think what she's doing is because she wants to commission her next show?
Yeah,
I mean, really.
When you walk around and you say, and by the way, my book is on sale, blah, 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 and you know, I mean, yeah, she's got an agenda for sure. Janice is perpetually watch every show she'll do, watch this show, here's my prediction. The troublemaker gets into the last day with the last six, and then, like I said, then you slit her throat.
We don't condone violence on this show.
No, but of course, that was only figurative, sir.
It was just figurative. Well, listen, let's swiftly move on to Farrah. As part of the task, Farrah and Austin, they were chosen to make the royals very angry during afternoon tea, a role which I think, safe to say, Farrah excelled in, to say the least. Paul, do you think Farrah pretty much relished the chance to, you
I
know,
think the really
just go in
disturbing
there?
thing there was you can tell if people are acting unpleasant, and no Brit picked up on that because she is dead behind the eyes. She's like a shark from Texas. She's just a hideous fang.
She loved it. She loved making people cry. That is a cruel person. That is Satan. I don't like her. I don't like her.
What do you make of it?
She's playing the game she set out to do. In wrestling terms, she's the heel. She's going to be the bad girl and the bitch from hell. That's what she's there to do.
Daniel, is that what she's like to live with?
Well, let me just summarize it this way. When they came back, when we gave the questions asked to try to get them going, I said, remember, we've got to get them angry, which is why I said, get James in there. I know he's a noble guy. Once you start going after the girls, it'll be James that gets to his feet and goes, you can't say that! And we'll get him mad that way. So we used James, his good nature, in order to... When Farrah came back in the room and I saw Gail crying, I went, my God, they're crying. The goal was to get them angry, and I said, I feel really sad. She goes... I don't feel sad. I'm happy. It was like therapy for me.
Exactly.
Well, we're gonna be talking about this tomorrow night and Sunday night. But for now, give it up for our panel, guys. But listen, Daniel, sadly, his time in the house is over. But if he could leave some baggage behind, what would he not be checking into the hole? Do you know why? It's time to get. Daniel, if you'd like to take a seat. OK, here we go, you ready? You've now cleared security and it's now time for departure. Thank you for taking your seat on Air Island. We're going to fire some toxic questions at you and I want your rapid response. Are you ready, Daniel?
I am ready.
It's time for takeoff. Daniel, who is the most toxic waste of space in the house?
Janice Dickinson.
Daniel, who is the bitchiest housemate?
Janice Dickinson.
Daniel, are you embarrassed that your brother did better than you on Celebrity Big Brother?
No, I'm not at all.
Daniel, if you could fly back into the Big Brother house, who would you nominate next week and why?
I would nominate Austin.
Daniel, if you could choose one Brit to be an American, who would it be?
Bob Davro.
Daniel, which housemate would you send on a plane far, far away from the house?
Janice Dickinson.
On that note, I think you did all right there, but listen, it's time for your back to land in reality question. Daniel, who tweeted this whilst you were in the house? Daniel Baldwin. His beard looks like my lady garden. That's the most interesting thing I have to tell you. Was it... Any guesses?
Queen Clitoris.
Some people have called her that. It was actually Katie Hopkins. But give it up for Daniel! All right, listen, that is it for tonight. A massive thank you to all of my panel and our audience. Thank you. I'm going to be back here tomorrow night at 11 p.m. on 5 Star, where I'm going all bit on the stateside with Callum Beth, Louisa Zisman, Cowrie Darge, plus I'm going to be reunited with Spidey and Rusty Lee's going to be rocking it out. You do not want to miss it. Until then, Live from the House is on Channel 5. Night, night.